is the reorganization meeting also. Um, First thing I will do is ask for an approval of the minutes of the meeting of December 9th.
Second.
Make a motion to approve the meeting. Oh, I'm sorry.
Second.
Second.
Motion, any questions or motion been made and properly seconded? Any question or comments regarding the minutes? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion passes. With that, Cheryl, you can make your statement, and then I will turn the meeting over to Blake. And before you start, Blake, I just have a question as to whether or not, do we need a vice chair, or can we just say that until we get a replacement for Tom?
Leave it open, or you could, readjust things now, but you could leave the position open. I mean, you need a treasurer and a secretary.
Yep.
It's really your choice. You could leave it open until an appointment is made, but then you might be reorganizing anyway, again. So it might be better to select a vice chair now if that's possible.
All right, Cheryl, you go ahead with your statement, and then Blake, you take over the meeting, and we'll discuss this further on your time.
Just letting everyone know that the notice of the meeting dates was published in the advance of Bucks County. It was published on the 10th of January, and I also posted it outside of Borough Hall on the the little bulletin board on the building. So that's been done as required by law.
Okay. Well, Craig, if you'll bear with us, we'll go through this reorganization as quickly as possible.
Not a problem.
Okay. The reason I brought that up, Blake, is there's a strong possibility I will not be available for next month's meeting.
I got
So,
you. Yeah.
At that point, either we just say, well, one of the three other members is acting as chair the next meeting, or we go ahead and look for a vice chair now. Personally, I think it's okay to leave it vacant, and maybe we'll have somebody by then. And if not, one of you three between Rich, Carl, and Mike will have to cover the meeting for me if I'm not here. Any preference?
Well, Dave, do you want to be chairman again?
I do not mind being chairman again. If someone has a burning desire to do it.
I just didn't know whether you needed a break from it or not. That's all.
No, right now, other than, we're pretty much through the brunt of a lot of things other than a couple legal things that we're dealing with, but I don't mind. I'd be happy to serve again for another year unless someone wants, like I said, to step in. I will relinquish the reins. And Carl, it's a good question. Maybe we want to think about it, because if hopefully we get a new member by the February or March meeting, we can always reorganize then, as Blake said.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know what the importance of a vice chair is. I don't know. I don't even know what my position is. It's just a name. It doesn't really do any. Doesn't really make any difference.
Blake, correct me if I'm wrong, but the vice chair mainly replaces the chair in case of the chair's absence.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty
And
much.
basically, any of us can do that because of the tenure that we've had. I mean, come on, Mike Schumer, you've been on here now for what, 4 years? Yeah, I think.
Yeah, any member.
He's
chair.
muted. Mike's muted.
Carl, the pay is higher.
Oh, now you open the floodgates, Rich.
Hey, pay or pain? The pain's higher.
Yeah, pays higher.
Well, I don't care.
At some point in time, I'd like to give it a try, to be quite frank with you.
Okay, we can consider that now, or we can wait to see if we get a new member and reorg it again, reorg again, as
That's
Blake
up to you.
mentioned.
But why, if we don't have a vice chair or have a vice chair, what does that really mean going forward from tonight?
If
But
we
just-
don't have a vice chair, that means if I can't make next month's meeting, one of you three will have to say, oh, I'll take your place as a temporary chair for that meeting.
Oh, well, that doesn't really make
It's
Doesn't
not a
really
big deal.
difference, does it? If we have a vice chair, because the secretary can step up, the treasurer or
Well,
whatever.
Usually, when the chair is absent, the vice chair takes the place, correct?
Why don't
Blake?
we choose a vice chair tonight then?
Fine with me.
That's my recommendation.
Well, Carl, I'll nominate you for vice chair.
Well, why don't we go in order? We'll just go down the line and, um,
Yeah, does he have to turn the meeting over to you, Blake?
yeah,
I
that's,
yield, I yield back to Mr. Dunbar.
I would like to reserve 1 minute. There's 5 offices and we only have 4 members now. Just to refresh, in case you don't remember, but Dave, of course, is chair, Carl's assistant secretary, Michael is treasurer, and Rich is secretary. So I'm just gonna go down the list. For the position of chairman, is there a nomination for the position, or nominations, plural, for the position of chairman?
Nominate Dave.
Second,
Second,
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed? Congratulations, Dave.
Thank you.
Let's do vice chairman now. Again, that was Tom. And are there any nominations for the position of vice chairman?
Nominate Carl.
Second,
I second it.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? All right, so we've got the following positions. We've got is Mike, and secretary is Rich. Are there any changes to those positions? We could just do those together. Are there any changes to the position of treasurer or secretary?
I would advocate that we stay the same there.
All right, so Mike has been nominated for treasurer, Rich for secretary. Are there any other nominations? There being none, all those in favor of those positions say aye.
Aye.
There being none opposed, that concludes the reorganization meeting for 2021. And I would turn it back over to Dave.
Very good. Thank you very much, everybody. Let's hope we have a better year than 2020 in many ways.
are we going to do our professionals tonight?
Yes, we are. That'll be next. I'll take
I'm not-
everyone. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I nominate Robert Brand Associates for our solicitors for the year 2021.
Second. This motion made, properly seconded. All those in favor for the appointment of Robert Brandt and Associates for our solicitor for 2021, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion passes. Congratulations, Blake.
Thank you very much for another year.
Keep going, Carl. You're on a roll.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion that we rehire our engineer, Alex Dyke and Associates. Oh, I'm sorry.
Gilmore.
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 and Associates. I'm just teasing, Alex.
I'll be looking for that in my paycheck.
Okay. Gilmore and Associates for the year 2021.
Seconded.
Motion's made, properly seconded. No comments or arguments. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Alex and Brian. It's good to have you aboard again for 2021. Again, I hope this year is a lot better in more ways than one since last year. So congratulations and thank you.
Amen. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
With that said, we will now be entertained by Mr. Craig Burton.
Your year's not going to get any better then, that's for sure. I have, you guys have all received draft copies of the report, I believe.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I mean, I don't want to spend a lot of time. I mean, if you got the independent auditor's report is what it is. You got an unqualified opinion. If you look at page 2 of the report, the first paragraph titled opinions, it says, in our opinion, everything presents fairly in all material respects, the financial position and business type activities of Yardley Borough Sewer Authority. So we didn't find any problems.
Got it.
Just a couple things that Kevin wanted me to address with you guys. On the page 5, which is the statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund balance or net position, with income statement, if you will. Administrative expenses are down due to the salary differential between Cheryl and Carolyn.
Mhm.
Loss on replacement was from a not fully depreciated pump station grinder, which went south.
Mhm.
And interest income's down. Obviously, you know what the economy's like, so rates are lower. That's really all I really have to say. I mean, everything looks good.
Works for me, Craig.
Yeah, anybody have any questions? I'll be glad to try to address them.
Michael, are you satisfied with it? I know we've got the abbreviated report. But it pretty much says it all and says what Craig is saying too.
We also, I believe, sent down the ad that has to be placed in the newspaper.
You got that right, Cheryl?
I don't think I did today. Was
Maybe
it
you didn't get
today?
it yet. I know, maybe because it's a draft and the report hasn't been approved yet. Maybe you didn't get it yet.
Okay,
But I know it's prepared because I saw it today.
okay. I'll watch for that.
Okay, I'll talk to Kevin tomorrow to make sure you get it.
Okay.
Make a motion, we accept the report.
Motion made,
Second,
properly seconded. No questions or comments? All in favor to accept the report, the budget report review, the auditor's report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you, Craig. And I will make the motion to reappoint B. Bergwall for our auditor for this year.
Second.
Motion's made and properly seconded. The only comment I have is we normally wait till next month to do this. And I, for the life of me, can't remember why.
I think you did it this meeting.
I thought one of the years we did it, well, one of the years we might have had a issue to resolve. But anyway,
The report was delayed one year, yeah.
yeah. Okay. I'm getting older, Craig.
Aren't we all?
Hell, so
It's a good
are
thing in
you.
some respects.
All right, all those in favor say aye for the reappointment.
Aye.
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 You got everybody?
Yep.
All, motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Craig. Welcome aboard again for 2021. And I hope you, the firm, and the family stays healthy as the rest of us intend to, and we'll be in touch.
Back at you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll bail out.
Anybody got any questions for Craig before he signs off?
Nope.
I didn't think so. Very good. Thank you, Craig.
Thanks. Have a good one, guys.
Yep. Okay, kids. We don't have a public. Good evening, Phil.
Good evening, everyone.
How are you?
All right, how you guys doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
New Year treat you good?
Other than the weather, no.
Yeah.
I guess it's okay. So I have nothing to, which is good news. Nothing bad to report, which I'm happy to do that. And things have been running okay at the station. The holidays were a bit. I was not able to get anyone out there to look at the lights, but now that things seem to be loosening up again with everyone's schedule, I hope to have someone out there this month to look at the wet well lights. And then I would like to be able to come back at the next meeting with some sort of a quotation, preferably sent to Cheryl ahead of time so that everyone has a chance to look at it before the meeting.
All right.
And I believe that's all I have.
No problems with the high water Christmas time the other week?
No, we had, obviously we had multiple pumps running,
Yep.
but the station ran with 2 pumps, and the water was up into the lower part of the driveway from the river.
Yep.
It was up pretty high, but no issues. I had one little weird thing, which I'm not really sure what's going on with the generator, but not this past Thursday, but the previous Thursday, the generator did not call me to let me know it was exercising, which to me means that it didn't exercise. So I went and checked it out, and I ran it manually. I also noticed that recently I don't know why the exhaust rain cap had blown off of it. So I got up there and fixed it. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or what. So I'm going to keep an eye on it, and hopefully once I started it manually, it seemed like it ran okay.
Mm-hmm.
I let it run for a while and get up to temperature. And then this past Thursday, it did exercise. It called me like it normally does. So either there's an issue developing, or maybe the batteries are starting to, because they seem to last about 2 years between, when I have to replace them. And I dated them. So I think they're a little over 2 years now, but I've been keeping them on a battery tender. So that should extend the life. I'll keep vigilant on it and report back next month if there's any issues discovered.
That's coincidental because somewhere I read, Cheryl, that Skated didn't record December 31st.
No, I think I said, oh yeah, it wasn't December 31st. It was, I think I said it recorded 30 days out of the month. So one day it gave me question marks.
I thought that might have been the 31st, which is coincidental.
Yeah, no, it was in the
When
middle
the
of the month.
generator might not have worked.
No, it was the middle of the month.
Okay.
Yeah, the generator should not affect that. When it exercises, it does not run under load. So the station's still running on Pico power. The generator just runs on its own for, I think it's 20 or 30 minutes, and then shuts down. That's the way it's programmed.
And to the best of my knowledge, we didn't lose any electricity.
Correct. Not that I'm aware of. So, if we did, it would have called, and I would have either gotten a generator running, or I would have gotten a power failure. And I got neither one of those, other than the normal exercising calls. So I'll keep an eye on it and report back if there's anything found.
All right. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody got anything for Phil? All right.
Phil, I do have one thing for you.
Go ahead.
Are we gonna do that backflow preventer test, or do we have to do that annually?
The paper's gone. So I thought maybe that it was done already.
The paper's gone.
We did do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I left the paper on the filing cabinet, and I noticed, last month, I think it was gone. So it must have been done, what, Cheryl, maybe in November?
I think so. Yeah, it was.
Oh, who did it? I don't remember.
I'll have to look. I can't remember now.
Was it Mike Satino?
No,
No,
Okay,
no. I didn't know who else did it.
okay. Yeah, I kind of suspected it was done, so that's good. Another thing out of the way. Because they're a little bit of a stickler about those.
hmm
PA American, and I think they have to answer to a higher power.
yeah, they keep sending, they'll send notices after notices.
And it's a pain in the neck to do it every year.
hmm
Aqua's the same way.
yeah.
Okay. Anything
right.
else? All right, thank you.
Thank you. Carl and Rich, anything from the committee?
Nothing from me.
No, nothing.
Okay, thank you. Cheryl, you're up.
Okay. While I'm thinking about it, because we were talking about the meeting dates, I am going to start putting the link to the Zoom meetings on the Sewer Authority's website. So I did do that today, and the website itself states that the meetings are, gives the meeting dates and then says the link will appear here every month. So every month I'll put the new link on there in case anybody wants to join the meeting.
All right,
So if anybody asks the board members, you can tell them to get the link from the board, from the website. So just the usual reports, and everything's been fine. The only thing out of the ordinary this month was that the mail was very, very slow for everyone. And we received a lot of payments that people mailed in December, but we didn't get them until the first week of January. So, a lot of people were calling, noticing their checks didn't get cashed and wondering why they got penalized for late payment. So we got a lot of calls in the beginning of January. So we just took penalties off as people were calling, and the penalties would be 44 cents, but it's just the idea that they did pay. So it made them happy to take the penalty off. So we did that. We've been doing that. But otherwise, everything's been okay.
Cheryl and Carol and I spoke about this a little bit this afternoon when they informed me what was going on. And I just want to run it by to make sure the rest of the board is in sync with this. I don't have a problem if they've determined that these are non-repetitive, late payments from customers who do it regularly late, and to go ahead and keep a tickler file on what adjustments they've made. If any other board member feels differently about it, let's talk about it now. But with the way things are going and the way that the USPS was during November and December, and Carol and Cheryl can clearly see that, it was late, not because of the customer. I don't have a problem with them making adjustments. Michael, do you have a problem with any of that too?
What do you want to do again? I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I think it's the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just refund the penalties when they paid it on time and we just didn't get it because the mail was so slow.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So we
You
just.
said something about keeping a file. What'd you say about a file?
Well, no, we talked this afternoon and they're keeping a tickler file to know that, all right, this was late, but not for the fault of the customer. So it really isn't a black mark it's not a mark against the customer. It's just with the understanding that because November and December were bad for USPS and the mail got late, Carol and Cheryl are eliminating the penalty, which is pennies or maybe $1.50 the most sometimes, but not to repetitive customers. That's all I'm saying. I know
Okay.
this is a very discretionary statement I'm making, but I think, as I said to Cheryl and Carol this afternoon, let's use our common sense on this stuff. And of course, I know they will. So I don't have a problem with it. I just wanted to make sure the rest of the board is aware of this in case they get a call or something.
Yeah, this is the first time that I've ever seen, this happen where we've gotten so many payments like that were, that came in late through the mail. So hopefully the mail's gonna get better now that Christmas is over.
Oh, hell no.
I hope.
My-
But,
my-
and the other
my mail's not-
thing, the other thing that we realized through all this is that when people pay online with their banks, they do those bank checks, it gets mailed to us. And when the bank issues us the check, they debit the person's account. So the person sees the bill come out of their account and they assume it's paid, but we're not getting the check because it's lost in the mail. So they're calling and saying, but you cashed our check on December 10th, but we didn't get it. So I don't think people realize when they do those bank online checks that it gets debited immediately from your account, but you don't know whether it gets to its destination. And you may not know that, for a long time.
And,
So-
and that's why I suggested a tickler file, because if this continues for the next month or two, I don't know what we're gonna do about it, other than advise the customer to either come in and pay or don't do a bank pay bill
Right,
process.
right.
Yeah,
because-
regardless, the postal system is going to be the problem for months to come. It's not going to resolve in February or March.
No,
I mean, they can't even forward mail. So my sewer bill goes to my home address and they've been told to forward it twice and it doesn't come.
no.
I received one piece of mail forwarded here and 6 pieces of mail go to Yardley and they're not forwarded. And they're supposed to forward every first class piece of mail.
Yeah.
But it's the system. So I think we're just gonna have to take, as we are considering right now, and weigh or let the office personnel use their discretionary means and credit the people that have to get credited, and those that are habitual late payers, we just keep tacking it on.
Or we could consider extending the pay by date.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
Well,
we have discretion on the date that we want to run the penalties. Like we just look at the due date and I usually give people a few extra days and then I run the penalties, but I could make that later. And maybe that would be the way to go because, give the checks extra time to get to us.
I think they got like an extra 7 or 8 days this
Yeah.
month before we ran the penalty.
Right.
Or
Right.
accept it electronically. I mean, we don't accept monies electronically. We could turn around and do that, so it would be automatically taken out of their account and put into ours.
well, are you saying we should make that suggestion to those customers that are having a problem?
We don't have that ability set up on our system. I can't go into my checking account and transfer funds or go into the sewer authority into my account and pay via my checking account, automatic withdrawal.
No, that's not true. I do it every month. We're
You go
listed
on-
on the automatic ACH, and that's all the customers have to do. Am I right, Cheryl?
Yeah, you can have ACH where it just automatically, I think what Rich is talking about is when you go and you initiate it yourself. and
Yeah,
do the
not
transfer yourself.
automatic withdrawal. I go into the sewer authority into my account and then I link and have it taken out of whatever account I want it taken out of. Like you would with a credit card. You go onto your credit card company and you click on, you're going to pay the bill or whatever you're going to pay of it and what account it's going to come from. And then it's credited to your account that day.
Well, I don't have a problem making that suggestion, but there's more customers out there than we need to spend that much time on the phone with. I would suggest that we just roll the due date. If you think that's going to help, Cheryl and Carol.
Yeah, I mean, to just run the penalties later than we normally would so that we can
Right.
get all the payments in. Yeah, that would be That would be-
I think I'm already seeing an improvement this month versus last month on what's coming in.
Yeah.
All right. So- so-
And
Anything
then,
else, Cheryl?
and then other than that, it just looks like on the bill list, there might be a couple that we will lean because they're just not responding to anything. And Carol sent a letter to a few of them and said that will be the next step. And we didn't hear from anybody. So I think that we're gonna lean a few of them.
Blake, can you remind me, our normal process is a letter, and then posting, and then liens. And we haven't been, PAWC hasn't been doing shut-offs. So can we go from letters right to liens?
Yeah, we can lean property, just based on the amount. We have the authority to do that. And then we may have an internal procedure we should follow, but by law, we can lien it whenever we, determine that the amount is high enough. So I'm not sure what our internal procedure says. Does it say we have to do that before we lien?
Well, we've never written a policy about it, but precedence has been that we've leaned once it's, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the threshold was like $500. If they're in past balance due of over $500, we've usually have already posted it, but we then automatically have it leaned.
Yeah, we can do that. That's,
Mhm.
yeah, I
Well,
mean, yeah.
Carol and Cheryl, if you both say that we've mentioned the possibility of a lien in the latest round of letters.
Well, I actually, I mean, I sent a letter out specifically stating that we've had no response for actually over a year, no payment, no communication in over a year, and our next step will be to lien the property. Still no response.
I'm assuming the balance due is over 500.
Yeah, it's close to 1,000.
Mhm.
I don't know, gang, what do you want to do? You want to start leaning or you want to wait a month or two?
Wait,
I'd wait.
Wait, I agree. All right, keep this discussion alive next month, Carl, if I'm not here.
Will do.
Okay. Anything else, Cheryl and Carol?
No, that's about it for me.
I'll take a motion to accept the bill list.
so moved.
I'll second it. Motion's been made and successfully seconded to approve the bill list for this month for $22,224. Any questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. And let's see, what else we got? Anything else, Cheryl?
No, that's it, except for later on when I have to do requisition.
Yep. Carol, you got anything to add to?
Not just yet.
Okay, very good. With that said, Brian, you're up.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Good evening. Happy New Year.
Yeah, starting on the agenda here. As far as Morrisville, again, no new updates. And as far as the sewer improvement project, obviously continue to work on easements. Guess we'll discuss specific ones later in the meeting. So
Yeah.
I'll hold off on that for now. And I guess the only other update is we'll be looking to roll in with the lateral cleanout installation program. So this year we'll be targeting some properties on Brace Drive, which were the next high priority list. So we'll be getting that together, and then we'll go out for proposals from plumbing contractors. So we'll be doing that in the next month. With the anticipation we'll do the installations in late winter into the spring, and then be able to do the restorations when the weather's
Right.
suitable. So those are the main things. If there's any questions, let me know.
Any questions for Brian? Okay. Blake, you're up.
Yes, sir. The first thing is that we did have that right to know request from Mr. Nolan and regarding the appraisal, and it's exempted under the right to know law. So Cheryl issued if you remember, we got an extension, and then Cheryl issued a letter explaining that it wasn't going to be produced on December 31st. So basically there's a 15-day appeal period. So we're just about there. I think Friday would be the 15 days. But we got a letter back from Mr. Nolan. He, didn't agree with us, but I don't know if he's going to appeal. It's not a big deal. What he would do is file a form with the office in Harrisburg. They look at it and they make a decision, and they say, we're correct. It's not required to be produced at this time, or they say produce it. So it's not, it's something he could exercise, but I haven't seen it yet. So I think he's got till Friday.
We did get something he did appeal it. I thought he sent it to you. He should have sent it to you.
Oh, I got a letter from him. It was a letter to you and me, maybe the first week of January, saying he felt we were wrong. Did he file an appeal?
He did.
I didn't see that. Okay.
I got something from Harrisburg saying that we should communicate through them now.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
I'll send that to you tomorrow.
All right. He did file an appeal then. So yeah, probably there's a time limit in there, maybe 14 days or so. If you could send that over to me tomorrow, I'll take a look at it.
Yes, I will.
He didn't copy me on that.
Yeah, well, it actually came from Harrisburg, the email. So,
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it went to you. Did you
No.
get it, Dave?
What's that?
I was asking Dave if he got it, because I don't think it went to me.
I didn't get anything from Harrisburg, email or letter.
Okay.
It probably went to Cheryl. You're identified as the open records officer. So probably you. That's who they correspond with.
Okay.
Okay, he did file appeal then. All right, we'll
I'm sorry.
just send that over and we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
And then if you want, do you want to go down? I mean, I have some updates on the easements. I sent over a memo. It didn't get out till early this afternoon, so I don't know if anybody had a chance to take a look at it, but just kind of brought you up to date on.
I got it.
Hey, Blake?
Yes.
Since I'm the one that's responsible for recording, any thought of any of this conversation on easements being an executive session, which I would not be recording?
Yeah, let me take, let's see here.
Good
Some
point.
of it, let me see here. Well, yeah, there are a few that we probably should. Why don't we just,
Have the whole conversation in executive session?
let me report on a few things here that are just, are not, and then I think we should go into executive session. Good point. I just, a couple things. We did record 3 easements. The Putnam property, Pantry Holdings, and I think the Friends meeting. Those are now recorded. And I would like to recommend that checks be issued to those 3 property owners. I think we need a motion for that. And, based on the fact that those easements are now recorded, they're concluded. They're in place, and Putnam, Pantry Holdings, and Society of Friends, I would, subject to discussion, I would request that Cheryl be authorized to issue checks, along with sending a copy of the recorded easement to the property owner.
I make a motion to do what Blake just said.
Second.
Motion been made and properly seconded. Any questions or comments in regards to the 3 easements that have been recorded and we will issue a check to?
And I guess other than that, we probably should
Hold
go
on, I
in.
got a motion on the floor.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion passes unanimously. Go ahead, Blake, all yours again.
Yeah, why don't we go into executive session
Well,
just for the other items?
can we hold off until we finish up with, I know old business is taken care of, right, Brian? For the most part,
Yes, yeah.
except for
Yeah,
what needs to
just
be.
except for
discussed in
the
executive.
easements, yeah, for
Right,
executive
right.
session, sure.
So
Okay,
under
that-
new,
fine.
under new, I'm sorry,
You can do that whenever you want, Dave. Whenever you want to go in, you can do it later.
well, I'd just like to get these 2 out of the way. Number 1 in new business, we might, well, no, it's not real estate, so we won't, we need to discuss now. Under new business, number 1, Carol, you want to bring us up to speed with the situation with Mr. Garlitz and his dispute with his leak and things like that?
Sure. So just to kind of recap, I guess it was sometime last May, I first got the phone call in the office from Ed Garlitz inquiring about the bill, and he thought it had spiked a bit. So I sent him some history going back to through all of 2018. Then he responded back with a letter to us that we noticed their underground pipe between 2 of the properties. A slow leak was growing bigger, and water usage was going up, and sewer.
There's an underground water supply supplying 2 homes, 2 buildings.
3.
Right.
It goes from, I think it's 108, 110,
That's
112, and 114. I think they're all included.
There's
working
2
off
houses. There's 2 houses.
Is that working off 1 meter?
No meter, it's the well. I'm sorry, yes, it is the meter.
Yeah.
So-
There's 2 houses. The first house has 4 apartments in it, and the second house has 2 apartments in it. We're talking,
So in any case, he sent the letter in, referenced the history that I had sent to him, and said that he noticed it started to go up in, I think the first month of 2018. They got it fixed in June. They did their own self-repair. So there was a 30-month period that they were looking for money back, and he did an average on that. And bottom line, he was asking us for $6,000. We all discussed it, and I wrote him a letter back that, we were not in favor of that. One, because he'd not communicated anything to the water company about, requesting money back from them. And 2, they had done their own repair, so we didn't have any backup on that. And then we got a letter back from that, and he gave more detail about the repair. So that letter went out last month. We didn't really have opportunity to discuss it. And then just the other day, I got a copy of the plumbing bill in. They just had somebody go out earlier, I think earlier this week, to confirm that the old water line, because when they did the fix, they replaced it on the old water line. The plumber confirmed that there was still a significant leak there, even though it's not being used anymore. So he's still asking for the $6,000. What I did today is I went back all the way to 2012, and I found that, he had water high water usage all the way back to 2012. So this was not a new occurrence. I mean, it sometimes was sporadic, but he definitely had some spikes. He had some heavy usage all through the years.
And I want to add, Carol, that somewhere in all this communication from Mr. Garlitz, I think on some of the original communications, he mentioned how he repaired that. And what he did was, excuse me, there was an additional line running side by side. All
Right.
he did was convert to this other old line. And
Right. Not a new line, went from one to the other, right?
listen, I think this has occupied enough of our office's time. And-
Let me just finish with my history. So,
Okay.
yeah, he's asking money over a 30-month period, which I think is, not appropriate at all. From what I can see, comparing all through that time, he maybe had a 16-month period where it really, really spiked. And then when they converted and moved over to that other old line in there, it has gone down, the water usage significantly, but not to the extent that he's asking for. So that's all I'll say. I mean, I think the 6,000 is probably at least double what may have
Here-
actually happened.
The last time we discussed this, or two times before, I think it was October or November, we had suggested that he get in contact with PAWC to see what they were going to do for him. He pretty much blew that off, saying there's no sense in doing that.
Right, because
Well-
he used the water. He was not disputing the water.
And I guess that's been our precedence most of the time. Whatever PAWC credits, we credit.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. And I guess what I want to say is, if we were to consider any credit, an illegal connection is still in place and could rupture again at any time, and we're going to go down the same road.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's the sewer authority's responsibility to be concerned about someone's underground gardening hose, because basically that's all it is. It's going from one house to supply water in another house, which is not a legal connection. I say, let's be done with this and deny the whole thing. If he wants to take action, let him take action.
Well, technically, he has 3 tax parcels there, and he's running 1 service, 1 water and 1 sewer service, where he should be running 3. So he's saving money by not paying the minimum fee on 2 properties every month. He's got his own little water system going there. He's got to eat it as far as I'm concerned.
And I say that's why I'm sorry, that's why I suggest that we deny the request.
How long has he been doing that?
Forever.
So
It's
he's
not
had
our-
1 meter. So let me get this straight. He's had 1 meter for 3 dwellings.
Yes.
Well, it's
Where
really
he's
2
been-
dwellings. It's really 2 dwellings, but they got apartments.
Right.
But the duplex is
Okay.
2 parcels because there's 2 addresses on the duplex. That's
Okay,
2
so he
tax
should have
parcels.
3 water meters and he should be getting 3 separate water sewer bills.
There's
It
2
should be
tax
8.
parcels, as Rich says, yes, but there are 5 different addresses.
Yeah,
108, 110, 112, and 114, and 106. But you're right, Rich, there's 2 parcels. So there's a garden hose underground running from one parcel, 110, to the next house north of it.
So he's getting on the other 2 properties, he's getting no minimum
correct.
fees from the water company and the sewer authority. So he could owe us who knows what.
Well, the point is, we can resolve this amicably somehow. I don't have the answer for that. But then a month later, come up with the same thing. He blows the line again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying deny the whole thing. And if he wants to take any actions, let him take the actions.
Blake, what do you think?
I don't think we're at fault for anything.
Yeah, I mean, based on what I'm hearing, it just sounds like, he's violating, the individual connection rules for both sewer and water. He's making out and, you're right.
He's cheating and he wants us to pay for it.
Yeah,
Well, the other point is I made back in September and October is I am sure that he's been compensated by his tenants when they paid their monthly rent, because I'm sure he doesn't. I'm sure he charges them for water and sewer. And if
Somehow.
he got compensated from them, what's he gonna do? Turn around if we compensate him back for credit? Get back to those tenants? He ain't gonna happen. I say deny the whole thing.
I agree.
And if he wants to take any actions, so be it. I don't see where we're gonna be responsible for his underground garden hose. And that's what I consider it to be, because I have no idea what it's made out of. And it's an illegal connection anyway.
Do we need a
Back
motion?
me on
for
that, Blake?
no, I mean, well, has he made a request? Yeah, I guess he has. Yeah, I guess it should be in the minutes that it was considered and it was, there was a vote to deny it. Yeah.
I think we did that the last time and he still came back to Carol and Cheryl.
Yeah, it was. I sent him a letter saying it was denied and got another letter back.
And that's
Right.
why he came up with the invoice from the plumber, because we told him we didn't have anything from a plumber because he said he fixed it himself. So now he comes up with a pressure test from a plumber saying that there was a leak on that old line. That's why he did that, because
Well, I've got a copy of it, which you sent over, and it's funny, it says, and found significant leak between the dwelling. Well, was that today or January 11th when he tested it? Or is he
No, he-
hypothesizing that there was a leak back in
No,
whenever it was?
I think we figured that out today, Cheryl and I. He
Yeah,
was,
we said we think he tested the old line, and he's saying, yes, the old line did have leaks, because that's what he's trying to prove, that his old line, which he's not using anymore, was leaking. We had no proof of that because he says he fixed it himself.
so he just brought the plumber in and tested the old line no longer in service,
Right.
that it's leaking.
Because he's trying to give us what we asked for, I mean, he's trying to give us what we said he was missing, which is.
I say we deny the request based on the fact that it's an illegal connection and it could happen again at any time, and period. No contingencies, no nothing. We deny it. That's all.
So, I can communicate that, but
Well,
I don't know that I'm going to put in there that it's an illegal connection. What's the recommendation of how to present this?
I think it's, well, Alex, you might have to help me on this one, and Brian, and Rich. He's got a line, he's got a water service from one house to another. 2 different parcels.
Yeah, we got that, and it's non-compliant, but it's semi-related to the issue at hand. The issue at hand is he had a leak, supposedly he fixed it, and you told him to go get a bill from a plumber that proves he had a leak. He came back with a bill from a plumber that supposedly proves that he had a leak.
Okay, now we're
Well,
denying.
it was twofold. We told them, no money, one, because, the water company didn't give him any credit, and 2, we had no proof from an outside party. So he did half of it. He got proof from an outside party that it was a bad line.
Right, so I think, my point being, I think since you already kind of set a path, and Carol's kind of saying, A, do you really want to light that fire as far as the illegal connection? B, you didn't mention it before, so that it would be kind of double jeopardy bringing up something new now.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
the
think-
best thing.
I
Go
agree.
ahead.
I think I'll hold back on that. The illegal connection. I don't think I'd give that as a reason at this point.
Can somebody give me a valid reason on
So
what
you can
is
still-
happening here?
So you can still say, if I'm understanding correctly, you can still say that they didn't give anything from PAWC, which was typically a standard that we expect. So
Okay,
yes, we were looking for those two things, but we were looking for both of those two things. They gave us half of it, which is, we're not 100% sure really proves what it's intended to prove. And by the way, they didn't give us the other piece, which is definitely missing.
okay, so I'll just leave out anything regarding non-compliance or illegal water line.
But,
Just-
he didn't have a plumber do the repair,
Nope,
Right, right.
so,
All the plumber did was verify there was a leak.
right, and we also usually request that a plumber's bill to show that a proper repair was made is provided. Even if he switched to another line, a plumber should have done the changeover. So we don't still have a plumber's bill.
Right. Well, and what he's saying is he didn't know that. He did it himself. So because you asked for it after the fact, the best he could do was have that plumber come back and test the
Right.
line that was taken out of service. That's his in lieu of,
Yeah, well,
I think it
doesn't mean you have to accept it, but that's.
should be just brief and, just that the subsequent request has been considered, all the factors, and it's denied by the board.
okay.
Yeah,
And let him take it from wherever he wants to take it.
yeah. I mean, he could come in and discuss it at a Zoom meeting. He could, as other people have done, they've come in and explained
Oh,
what
I've
happened.
welcomed him. I've welcomed him to, he
Yeah.
knows when every meeting is happening. I've asked him, if he would like to join, we'd get him the link and no one wants to participate in our meeting.
Yeah. And at that point, if that ever happens, it could be explained, all the other circumstances could be explained to him, but I just keep it simple.
Okay,
Okay. Any more discussion on that? Because I've got a feeling we're going to be discussing it in the future again.
Was there a motion on that to deny the request?
Do we need one?
I think so. I mean, I think it should be in the minutes, yeah.
Okay, then what was the wording on that?
Well, just that I'm looking at, he submitted a request for the same relief, and the motion would be to deny the request for, compensation. I mean, reimbursement that he claims.
Well, you had mentioned something about for this and other subsequent inquiries or something. I forget what it was.
You're talking about the wording of the letter. That's different from the wording of the motion.
The motion is to deny the request that he's made.
I make a motion to deny the request that Mr. Gartless has made. Any
Second.
questions? Motion's been made, properly seconded. Any more further comments or questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion passes unanimously. Carol, you know what the letter goes out with?
yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay. Okay. Cheryl, why don't we go for the approval of the revenue fund requisition and get that out of the way? And at that point, we can go into executive session.
Okay. So what I did last month, well, at the end of December, Bank of New York has to sweep everything out of our operating account. And she asked me at the time if we wanted to set aside any money, to hold back any money. And I said no, but I should have said yes. So last month, when I did that requisition for $175,000 and we approved it, when I submitted it to Bank of New York, she said, there's not enough money in the account to cover that. So that was my fault because I didn't hold back enough money in the operating account. So the one last month did not go through. So this month, so meanwhile, we've been collecting money and putting it in. So now we can cover this requisition for $150,000 which you understand what I'm saying. So that was my fault. I didn't hold back money like I should have. So, but we had enough money in the account to pay the bills, and we didn't run into any problems, so it was okay, but just,
So at the end of December, they sweep the operating account, and where does that go to then?
and it goes to the bond redemption and improvement fund.
Leaving nothing in the,
And I think it's a part of the agreement, they have to do it that way. But she did ask me if we needed to hold any money to pay bills, and I said no, but I should have said yes. So we're okay now. And we had enough in the checking account to pay the bills for last month and this month anyway. So it was actually okay because the bills were not too high for either month. So we're fine, but we need to do the requisition this one. It didn't happen last month, but this one will be fine to go through.
when you say it didn't happen last month, did we also have a requisition last month?
We did. For
Yeah, we did, for
175,000.
175. And that didn't go through, the one dated December 9th, that didn't go through because we
That
didn't have enough
did
money.
not go through because she said there was not enough in the account to cover.
Got it.
So I just told her to cancel it. So I'm not sure what we should do about that because it was approved, but it didn't happen.
What do we do about that, Blake?
I'm missing that. What do you mean? What do we?
Well, we made this requisition last month.
Right.
It did not go through because there was not enough money in the account.
Okay.
The board approved it. So now do we have to do just do a new requisition? That's what I figured. There's a new
And
one
what-
now. It's a little bit less than last month's.
Yeah, you mean to cover it? Is that what you're saying?
No, do we need to do anything about the one that got approved last month but didn't actually go through? Do we need to do anything about that? Or like rescind it, or the Bank of New York canceled it, so that was fine, but
Well, I mean, are you saying, offer an explanation, or I'm not sure what we can do about it. It happened. I mean,
As far as, she means like, as far as an official action of the board, they took an official action to do the requisition. Now it didn't go through. Is there something they have to do to amend the minutes or update to say that one did, by the way, that one didn't go through?
I don't think so. I mean, no, I don't think you have to do anything.
okay. Maybe I'll just note that in the minutes so it doesn't look like so it doesn't look like two requisitions went through in a row. I'll just put that in the minutes that one was canceled and this one took its place. I'll
There's
just-
an explanation. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's good. So we just need approval of revenue fund requisition, first one of the year, and it's for 150,000 to go from the Bank of New York revenue account to the Wells Fargo operating account.
So moved.
Seconded then.
Motion's been made, properly second. Anybody got any other questions or concerns about this requisition? Everybody understand what took place? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, before we go into executive session, I just need to hear from the rest of the board. Rich, you got anything for the meeting?
Yes. I don't know whether any of you noticed or read recently, Marshall Municipal Authority has been given the exclusive rights to provide water and sewer to the US Steel site,
I did
which
see
is
that,
going to
yeah.
be developed into multiple warehouses. Millions of dollars is going to be invested in that site. But they're also, by signing this exclusive deal with Marshall, and the reason Marshall got it is because they're going to provide the water and the sewer, is Marshall is going to be accepting industrial waste. So, Phil can vouch for this one, and so can, Brian and Alex. Industrial waste destroys filtration plants. So with this new plant coming about, I don't think we should, if we're still going to be partners with them, which I surmise we are, I don't think we should be a shareholder. I think we should be strictly a customer, so that any major costs which are going to be coming down the road due to the industrial waste will not be borne by us at all in our percentage as we have now. That's about it.
Sounds logical. I saw that in paper last week or the week before.
Yeah, that's, and there's his money to build his plant.
Yeah.
Now, it says he's going to get $4 million to build on, to buy the 54 acres that he wants to buy. So as far as I'm concerned, there's his cash cow, and he can deal with them and get all the money from them. And we just don't put out any monies. We just become a paying customer.
A lot of water to go down the river before that's even going to take place, though, right?
Yep.
But it's food for thought, especially when it comes time. If we're still in this business, it comes time to sign on the dotted line. I heed your advice to go as a, not a partner, as a per diem customer.
No, I don't think we should be that, and I don't think we should have to put any money into building the structure at all, any of it. Let them do it on their own. They got all this money that they're going to be getting in. And who knows what Aqua's
We
going
ought
to do.
Say again? We would probably open up a line of communication with John to see what's new.
Or talk to Laura Mayfield and try to contact Aqua and see what their
Have you
idea
heard
is.
from him recently, Cheryl?
John, no. No.
I think we should contact Aqua and see what they are going to be doing, because they're coming into us. And, they're going to be taking over Lower Mayfield sooner than later, way before the plant's built. I think we should have communications with them before we worry about Marshall.
Is that a viable thing to do now, Blake and Alex and Brian? Establish communication with Aqua?
Laura Makefield.
Yeah.
I guess that sale has settled. I'm not sure what Aqua's going to say, though. I mean, they have not approached Yardley about, they're bound by the existing contract.
No,
I don't.
The sale is not final yet either.
No, I don't think so. I think they're still
No.
doing.
All right. So, yeah, I think it would be, I mean, there's no harm in it, but I don't think you're going to get anything from Aqua at this point.
I don't know. I would sure.
Well,
ask
I
them
think it'd be worth a. Go ahead.
I'd want to ask them what their plans are.
Mm.
Without the sale being final, though, they might be reluctant to even talk to us.
Yeah, it's going to be a while till that's finalized, and a while beyond that till they want to talk about anything like this with you. And they're going to, chances are, I mean, you reach out and you find out from them, chances are they're going to want to see what it is that Morrisville is actually planning and proposing.
I'm sure they're looking at the big picture.
If they don't know that already. All right, well, I think we need to tuck that piece of information in our hats, and I'm sure we're going to be discussing it more in the future. If we hear anything from John, you might want to open up a dialogue with him, Cheryl, as to what's new can he enlighten us on what we know is new to him?
Mhm.
Just, if you have a conversation with him, I think it would behoove us to find out what he is willing to share with us.
Okay.
Anything else, Rich?
That's all.
Carl, you got anything?
I do not.
You got any? Okay, Michael?
I'm good.
And the only thing I have is very late this evening. Don Carlson from the Yardley Borough Planning Commission had sent me an email this afternoon that I have forwarded to all of you. It has an attachment to it, and the Planning Commission has been charged with updating comprehensive plan, which was last updated in 2014. So they've got about 5 paragraphs on what they know about the YBSA, and he asked me to make some comments, validate some of the things that are in the paragraphs and everything. And the only thing I can see is that one paragraph had stated that they did not. It almost sounds like they don't know that we have already signed the agreement for the transportation agreement. I don't think they were aware of that, or at least in this paragraph, they were waiting to hear what was going on with that. So again, I sent it to everybody. Blake, Brian, Alex, and the rest of the board members, and Cheryl and Carol. And if you have anything, what I would like to do though is have Brian and Alex, if you don't mind, review that. And if you see where it'd be worth a while to update it. And again, this is for the borough comprehensive plan, which they want to update. And it's just validating. They also mentioned that the forced main runs from the pump station down Main Street and things like that, which, we might want to just make a note of it. I realize that I could probably answer all their questions, which aren't many, or edit some of what they're saying here, but I would like to have it come from the engineer. So if you guys can take a look at it and go from there, I'd appreciate it.
Will do.
Okay. With that said, if there's nothing, Carol, you got anything for us? Anything more?
Okay, sir.
Cheryl?
Nope.
All right, what we will do now is go into executive session. It's 8:14,
All right,
8:37.
all right, you're back on the recording for the public meeting.
Okay, with all business concluded, if no one has anything, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, everybody, very much for this evening. Stay safe, and we'll talk again.
All right. Take
Right.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks, Alex.
See you next time.
Yep.
Good night.